Emanation, an abstract but perceptible thing that issues or originates from a source. Emanation, Art Plus Process, is the name of a new exhibition at Wheaton Arts. 11 internationally renowned artists were invited to make pieces responding to Wheaton Arts, its museum, its location, its history, and of course, its glass.
All of it's being made now, and it's being finished now, and it's being installed now. This is not normally done with museums, but this is a unique show. It really is. It's being made here, it's being processed here, and it's being installed here.
Some of the artists designed pieces that were then made for them at Wheaton. Artist Michael Oatman's snowflake prints of bomber jets are being transformed into a three-dimensional reality by the glassmakers at Wheaton Arts.
These are going to, in the end, form a very large snowflake, but up close you're going to see them as these jets.
Other artists responded to the history of Wheaton Arts as Wheaton Village. Historically, South Jersey was home to glassmaking companies, and the Hot Glass Studio and Museum were built to evoke that history.
In the 1970s when we opened, it was, bicentennial fever in the country, and so people were really interested in sort of historic looking items, and so the museum was designed with sort of faux period rooms to help place the pieces.
It's a really strange reconstruction, but a reconstruction of something that never existed. So it's a kind of great fantasy.
Artist Mark Dion creates installations at museums like the Barnes Foundation, the Tate, and the Museum of Modern Art. For Wheaton Arts, he's created an imaginary workshop behind the scenes of a museum, using boxes of bottles and other objects found in Wheaton storage.
I mean, Wheaton has, like most museums, they only show between 1% and 10% of what they actually have. So when I come to a project, I'm often looking at this idea of turning the museum inside out, because I think what's really going on, the cool stuff in a museum, is all going on behind the scenes.
Mark Dion's installation, The Broken Bottle, is dedicated to one of the most common objects found in the Museum of American Glass. Artist Virgil Marti, on the other hand, responded to some of its most highly crafted items.
I walked through the museum and there were so many amazing things. I wanted to do everything. It's like the paperweights were amazing to me, the iridescent sort of carnival glass stuff, the milk glass. There were a lot of things that I really liked and I thought I wanted to try.
He ended up working with the patterns found in the museum's collection of Duran art glass. The glassblowers at Wheaton Arts set to work making cylinders for him. Lots of cylinders. To set them off, Virgil Marti hung his own printed drapery wallpaper.
I thought it would be kind of interesting to draw a relationship between the patterning of the glass pieces and this wallpaper.
Jocelyn Prince, who's another one of the artists, has created her own machine to create the glass. I call it the glass pasta machine. It is essentially two big rollers, and you take the molten glass and pour it in and turn the rollers and it flattens it out. She's interested in the idea that, we're in a museum and you see the pieces through the glass pane, so she's creating glass panes.
The artists that creative director Hank Adams invited to make work for Emanation Art Plus Process are all reimagining what glass can be and do.
The ideas are not just about a hot process. I mean, that's the point. It's about ideas.
Splendor in the Glass is a site-specific piece by Carolyn Healy and John Phillips. Through January 2016, walking inside Wheaton's 1876 schoolhouse will immerse you in their work.
I make an environment and then John adds sound and video, so.
It was great coming down here and going through the studio and seeing people blowing glass and making glass. And we started to read about it a little bit and how it changed society. So Carolyn's got objects in there from optics.
There are lots of laboratory pieces
Right.
in the installation. There are containers for food and beverage and pills. And we played around with the reflective qualities of glass and the translucency and how light passes through it and sometimes refracts through it.
And the video is all based on glass, and then it's processed and reformed a little bit so it fits the room better. And the sound is all based on glass sounds as well. So it's rubbing glass, it's the wine glass thing that everybody does.
Any location at Wheaton Arts was fair game. Artist Judy Pfaff had an instant reaction to the lobby in the museum.
I walked into this room and I thought, you've got to be putting me on. Like, it just looks like a brothel.
They're historic chandeliers from the Tremor Hotel in Atlantic City. So she's reinterpreting that chandelier and its placement in this sort of faux Victorian hotel lobby. Again, sort of that mediating that tension between Wheaton Village and Wheaton Arts with her work.
And these shapes are like, I can't even believe I had to make them. Well, they're kind of phallic-y shapes. You know what I mean?
Digging into history, making glass, seeing what's possible, using the facilities and the spaces at Wheaton Arts. Emanation Art Plus Process is a big, ambitious show about all of that.
Plus it's community. Everyone just seems generous.
This isn't just a museum that's putting work on. This is an institution that's hosting artists, and the work's being made here, it's being conceived here, so it's emanating from here.
The New Jersey State Council on the Arts, encouraging excellence and public engagement in the arts since 1966, is proud to co-produce State of the Arts with Stockton University, New Jersey's distinctive public university.